Seniors, there may be a pill in your daily routine silently harming your brain, without you realizing it. This isn't some overblown scare tactic. It's based on real studies, real stories, and real consequences. Some medications often seen as harmless are now linked to memory loss and mental decline. We're not here to alarm you, but to empower you with knowledge that could protect your future. Because sometimes, forgetfulness isn't about age. It's your body trying to send you a message. Think of it like a light slowly dimming in a quiet room. At first, you barely notice, but eventually, you're sitting in the dark. That's how these medications can affect your brain, subtly, silently, over time. You start forgetting names, losing your train of thought, or feeling a fog you can't explain. What if the cause isn't aging, but something sitting quietly in your medicine cabinet? The truth is, many seniors live with symptoms they assume are normal. But there's a difference between natural aging and medication-induced confusion. And that line gets crossed more often than most people, or even doctors, realize. This video isn't just about facts. It's about waking up to what's really happening. Your mind matters, and it's never too late to pay attention to it. Take a moment and think, how many pills are part of your daily routine? How long have you been taking them without questioning their long-term effects? When was the last time a doctor reviewed all your medications with fresh eyes? You deserve more than guesswork. You deserve clarity, mentally and medically. And that starts with asking the right questions, starting today. So let's begin this journey with one goal: to help you stay sharp, aware, and in control. Because aging doesn't mean losing yourself. It can mean gaining wisdom, if we protect it. Let's talk about the hidden dangers behind that harmless pill. Let's open the door to better choices, safer alternatives, and honest conversations. You're not powerless. And after this video, you'll be better prepared than ever. It's called Benadryl, or maybe Dramamine. It could even be an old antidepressant or a bladder control pill. These are part of a class of drugs known as anticholinergics, a term you might not recognize. But what they do is block a key brain chemical, acetylcholine, which helps with memory and learning. Without it, your brain can slow down, and with time, parts of it can actually shrink. Yes, shrink. And the scariest part? These drugs are legal, common, and often overused. Many of these medications were designed decades ago, before we fully understood the brain. Yet they're still widely prescribed, especially to seniors. Without regular reassessment, they treat allergies, insomnia, depression, motion sickness, and urinary issues. But in exchange, they can cloud your thinking, dull your memory, and speed up cognitive decline. And because their effects build up over time, they often go unnoticed, until it's too late. Imagine giving your heart the wrong kind of fuel every day. You wouldn't do that knowingly. But that's what these pills can do to your brain. Slow it down bit by bit, like sand in the gears. They don't cause a sudden crash. It's more like a leak, quiet, persistent, and dangerous. And because these medications feel familiar, people assume they're safe forever. But your brain isn't the same at 70 as it was at 30. It needs a different kind of care. Many people don't realize that memory issues can be drug-induced and even reversible. When seniors stop taking anticholinergics, some notice a clear improvement in mental clarity. But the key is knowing what you're taking and why. Not all side effects come with warning labels. So if you've never taken a second look at your daily pills, now's the time to do it. That small pink tablet or white capsule might be quietly stealing your focus and sharpness. It's not about fear. It's about awareness. about choosing long-term health over temporary fixes. There are safer ways to treat common issues like allergies, sleep troubles, and anxiety. But first, we need to recognize the medications that may be hurting more than helping. Your mind is worth the effort. Your memories, your clarity, your independence. They all depend on it. So let's keep digging. Because understanding these pills could be the first step to getting your mind back. Your brain runs on signals, tiny sparks jumping between cells, helping you think, remember, and react. One of the most important messengers in this system is acetylcholine. It's like the spark plug in your mental engine, keeping everything firing smoothly. When medications block this chemical, the engine still runs, but it starts sputtering. Slow thoughts, forgotten names, confusion. It all begins with a broken connection. Anticholinergic drugs are like sand in the gears of your mind. They don't stop your brain overnight, but they slow down its ability to work clearly. You may start to feel foggy, distracted, or like your thoughts are stuck in slow motion. Tasks that once felt automatic, like following a recipe or balancing a checkbook, become frustrating. And worst of all, many seniors blame themselves or old age instead of the real culprit. Studies have shown that long-term use of these drugs increases the risk of dementia by up to 54%. That's not a small number. It's a wake-up call, especially for older adults. Researchers have even found visible shrinkage in brain scans of people taking these medications. This isn't just about forgetfulness. It's about actual physical changes happening inside your brain. And once damage begins, it's much harder to reverse than it is to prevent. The effects creep in gradually, often too slowly to notice day by day. It's like watching paint dry. You won't see the change unless you step back after weeks or months. By the time most people realize something's wrong, their memory and focus have already suffered. This slow fade is what makes anticholinergic drugs so dangerous. They're silent but powerful, and too many people are suffering without even realizing the source. But there is hope. Once you understand how these drugs work, you can make better choices. Knowledge gives you the power to speak with your doctor and ask the right questions. Your brain isn't gone. It may just be overwhelmed, like a light dimmed by the wrong switch. And when you flip that switch off, things can begin to brighten again. Let's keep going and talk about why so many people were never warned about this in the first place. It's a common reaction. If this was so serious, wouldn't my doctor have told me? The truth is, most doctors prescribe with good intentions. But medicine is constantly evolving. What was considered safe 10 or 15 years ago might now raise serious concerns. And with short appointments and busy schedules, medication reviews often get pushed aside. That's how harmful habits stay in place, simply because no one stopped to question them. Many seniors have been on the same medication for years without a second thought. They refill the prescription, trust the process, and assume it's all part of aging gracefully. But your body changes, your brain changes, and what worked once may now be working against you. You wouldn't wear the same glasses for 15 years, so why take the same pills without rechecking them? Your health needs regular tune-ups, especially when it comes to your mind. Doctors can't catch everything, especially if patients don't mention what they're feeling. Mild forgetfulness, confusion, or mental fog often go unreported or brushed off as normal. But if more seniors spoke up, doctors might dig deeper and spot the red flags. You have every right to ask questions and understand exactly what each pill is doing to your brain. And sometimes just one conversation can change the entire course of your health. It's easy to feel powerless, especially when you've trusted the same routine for so long. But advocating for yourself doesn't mean being difficult. It means being informed. You're not challenging your doctor's authority. You're protecting your own well-being. The best health decisions are made when doctor and patient work together with open communication. And that starts with you bringing your concerns to the table. This video is your invitation to take back control. Don't wait for permission. Start the conversation about your medications today. Make a list, ask about side effects, and be honest about how you've been feeling. Your brain deserves just as much attention as your heart, bones, or blood pressure. And when you speak up, you just might inspire your doctor to look twice and think deeper. Margaret was 72 when the little things started slipping away. At first, it was just names, her neighbor's dog, her grandson's school. Then she missed a dentist appointment, forgot to turn off the stove, and one day, got lost coming home. Her family feared the worst, early Alzheimer's. The sadness, the panic, the helplessness crept in. They began to prepare for a future of memory care and decline. But something didn't add up. Margaret was otherwise healthy, active, and sharp. Just a year before, her daughter started looking closer and noticed one thing. Margaret had been taking an allergy pill daily. It seemed harmless, just a little something for seasonal sniffles. But that pill, it turned out, was an anticholinergic, and it had slowly been stealing pieces of Margaret's clarity, one day at a time. They consulted a new doctor who took the time to listen and review everything. With guidance, Margaret stopped taking the medication and switched to a safer alternative. The first few weeks were slow, but soon things began to shift. She started remembering names again, her mood improved. She laughed more, and one morning she woke up and said, "I feel like myself again." It wasn't a miracle. It was a correction, undoing years of silent damage. Her story isn't unique, but it's rarely told. Many seniors walk a similar path, unaware that their memory struggles may be caused, not by age, but by pills. Margaret's journey proves something powerful. Sometimes the brain can bounce back, but only if we catch the problem early enough and take action. Let her story be a reminder. It's never too late to ask, to change, to hope. If you or a loved one is slipping into confusion, don't assume it's just part of getting old. There might be a hidden trigger waiting to be discovered. One small pill, one overlooked ingredient, one avoidable decline. Margaret turned things around, and maybe you can too. You might be thinking, if I stop these pills, what else can I take? The good news is, there are safer options, ones that don't harm your memory or dull your mind. For example, instead of sleep aids that sedate your brain, you can try melatonin, a natural sleep hormone. Even better, practicing sleep hygiene, like turning off screens and having a calming bedtime routine, can work wonders. Sometimes your body just needs better habits, not stronger pills. For anxiety or nervousness, you don't always need heavy medications. Simple breathing exercises, light movement, and talking to someone can ease your mind more than you think. Some people find relief through herbal options like valerian root or chamomile, used for centuries with fewer risks. And therapy, even over the phone, can help unpack the worries that fuel anxiety. Your peace of mind doesn't have to come with a cost to your brain. Dealing with allergies? There are modern antihistamines that don't have anticholinergic effects. It's all about asking the right question. Is there a version of this medication that's safer for my brain? Doctors today have access to newer treatments, but they need to know you care about cognition. When you bring it up, it signals that you're serious about both your body and your mind. And that opens the door for better, more personalized care. The key is to find a doctor who stays up to date and listens, someone who sees you not just as a patient, but as a whole person with long-term goals. Medication doesn't have to be the enemy, but it does need to be reviewed with care. Just because a pill worked for you 10 years ago doesn't mean it's the right choice today. Your body evolves. Your treatment plan should too. So yes, alternatives exist. And they're often more effective than we expect. It might take a little time, a little trial and error, and a lot of patience. But every step you take toward a clearer mind is a step worth taking. You deserve to feel alert, balanced, and connected to yourself and to those you love. And with the right support, that's not just possible, it's entirely within reach. Science is finally catching up with what many seniors have felt for years. Something's not right. A groundbreaking study published in JAMA Neurology linked long-term use of anticholinergics to brain shrinkage. MRI scans showed real, visible changes, especially in areas tied to memory and decision-making. This wasn't a small study. It included hundreds of older adults across years of careful observation, and the results were clear. The longer the use, the greater the risk to your brain. What's even more concerning is that the decline can happen with low doses. You don't have to be taking handfuls of pills every day to feel the effects. Even one tablet a night, over several months or years, can quietly chip away at your mental sharpness. This is what makes these drugs so dangerous. They're subtle. You don't feel the damage right away, but it's happening under the surface. Other research confirms the same pattern. One study found that seniors taking these medications had poorer performance on memory and focus tests. Another showed that stopping the drugs early could actually reverse some of the cognitive decline. In some cases, brain function improved within just a few weeks after stopping the medication. That's powerful proof that change is possible, if action is taken in time. But despite these findings, most people never hear about them from their doctors. The studies are real, but the information isn't always reaching the people who need it most. There's a gap between what research shows and what's discussed in the exam room. That's why videos like this are more than just helpful. They're potentially life-changing. When science stays hidden, people suffer. When it's shared, people heal. So here's what we know. The link is real, the damage is preventable, and the time to act is now. These aren't fringe ideas. They're evidence-based facts from respected journals and institutions. You don't need to become a scientist to protect your mind. You just need to stay curious, ask questions, seek second opinions. Bring the research with you to your next appointment, because the more you know, the more power you have to protect the life inside your mind. Go ahead, take a moment to open that drawer, cabinet, or pill organizer you use every day. Look closely at the bottles. Do you recognize all the names? Many medications have brand names that sound friendly, but hide powerful chemicals inside. Even over-the-counter pills can contain anticholinergic ingredients without clearly saying so. What seems harmless could be silently affecting your brain's ability to function. Don't just look at the front of the bottle. Turn it around. Read the active ingredients. Search for terms like diphenhydramine, chlorpheniramine, or amitriptyline. These are red flags that the drug may block acetylcholine in your brain. If you're unsure what something means, don't guess. Write it down or take a photo. The goal isn't to panic. It's to get informed and stay one step ahead. Some people keep medications for years without realizing they've expired or become harmful. That old allergy pill from last summer? It might still be in your drawer, ready to cause confusion. A sleep aid you used just occasionally could be part of a bigger pattern. We don't often think of our medicine shelf as dangerous, but it holds more power than we know. And knowing what's in there is the first step to taking back control of your health. If you find something unfamiliar or suspicious, bring it to your next doctor's visit. Ask directly, "Is this safe for my brain? Is there something better I could be using?" A good doctor will appreciate your concern and should help you explore safer alternatives. You don't have to make changes on your own. You just need the courage to start the conversation. And that begins with being honest about what's really sitting on your shelf. So take inventory, not just of your medications, but of your right to question them. Your health is too important to leave on autopilot, and your brain deserves the same attention you'd give to any other part of your body. The answers are often already in your home, written on a label, waiting to be read. You just have to look, ask, and take action. Maybe you're watching this and thinking, "This sounds like something my friend is going through." Or maybe your mom, your neighbor, or your spouse is struggling with memory issues too. The truth is, many seniors suffer in silence, thinking confusion is just a normal part of aging. But sometimes, it's not aging, it's a pill. And sharing this message could change everything. You could be the person who helps someone get their clarity and confidence back. Too often, medications are passed around with good intentions but little information. One person says, "This worked for me," and suddenly it's part of someone else's routine. But every body and every brain is different, especially as we get older. What helps one person might quietly hurt another. That's why awareness isn't just helpful, it's potentially life-saving. Think of how many people go years without realizing what's behind their mental decline. They blame age, stress, or genetics, never suspecting the tiny tablet they take each night. But just one shared video, one heartfelt conversation, can open someone's eyes. It can lead to a doctor's appointment, a medication review, or even a full recovery. Sometimes, all it takes is one person to speak up, to light the path for others. You don't have to be a health expert to make a difference. You just have to care enough to pass along what you've learned. Send this video. Talk about it at dinner. Mention it at church or in your book club. There's power in community, especially when it comes to protecting our elders. And you could be the spark that helps someone avoid years of silent suffering. We often think of advocacy as something big and complicated, but sometimes it's as simple as pressing share or asking, "Have you heard of this?" This message matters. It can give someone hope, direction, or even their mind back. So be bold, be compassionate, be the friend, the child, the neighbor who speaks up. Because spreading awareness doesn't just save memories, it can save lives. Growing older doesn't mean growing foggy, confused, or lost in your own thoughts. Your mind is not a machine that breaks down with time. It's a garden that needs care and attention. Yes, some memory loss can happen naturally, but much of it can be prevented, managed, or even reversed. You have more control than you think, and it starts with what you put in your body every day. Your brain is not disposable, it's priceless, and it deserves protection. Think about everything your mind has helped you do in life, the people you've loved, the stories you've told, the lessons you've passed on. Those memories matter. Your identity matters. And they're worth fighting for. Taking action today, asking questions, reviewing medications, making safer choices can protect all of it. Because your legacy isn't just in photos or letters. It lives in your thoughts, your words, your presence. You wouldn't ignore a strange noise in your car or a leak in your roof. So don't ignore those little signs your brain may be giving you. That moment of confusion, that forgotten word, that fog that won't lift. They're not just getting older. They might be your brain asking for help. And the sooner you listen, the sooner you can take back your clarity. This isn't about living in fear. It's about living in awareness. It's about understanding that true health includes your mental well-being, not just your blood pressure. You've earned the right to live fully, with energy, with dignity, and with a sharp, active mind. And you can, with the right information, the right support, and a little courage to ask. Your future isn't fixed. It's shaped by what you do next. If this video helped you, hit the subscribe button to stay informed and protect your health. Leave a comment below. Tell us your story or ask a question. We're here for you. And don't forget to share this video with someone you care about. It could change their life. Your brain deserves this kind of care. And you're not alone on this journey. Together we can grow older with clarity, strength, and purpose.